Welcome to 734 Games, and this is your host Tom coming to you from Game Time. And before we get started with the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines, I want to talk about something a little more serious. My family is trying to raise money for my nephew. He's going in for cancer surgery. I have a GoFundMe link in the description. They're trying to raise $25,000. Any money that if you donate to 734 Games or 734 Public Source Projects, any money that's donated to that will go to my nephew's cancer surgery. So, with that being said, let's get on with the fun stuff. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine.
Captain Titus, the Orcs have massacred the Forge World's forces, and they have taken the planetary defense weapons.
Clever of the damned Orcs. Keeps us off their backs while they loot the Titan war machines.
Brace for evasive maneuvers.
Pilot, report!
Starboard engine is dead, Sergeant. We're losing altitude.
Get the ship to safety. We'll find another way down.
Aye, Captain. Thunderhawk Lancer Jove returning to launch bay.
This is your plan.
We need to get to the surface to take out the gun battery. Or do you want to go home already, Sergeant?
Not before having a word or two with the Orcs.
Is that wise, Captain? The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Try to keep up.
With that out of the way, let's get started. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. Now, this is an action-packed hack and slash shoot and loot game where you're going through corridors, so it's a corridor shooter, but it's a lot of fun, and like the game has a lot of personality, and I think you'll enjoy it. If you're a shooter fan and you like action games, then this is definitely a game that you can't go wrong with. It's not for kids. It's a mature game. This game was developed by Relic Entertainment, and it was published by Sega. Now, for a game that came out in 2011, I would say the price is a little high, but one of the things is it's probably one of the best Space Marine games that they've ever done as far as action games. There's a lot of there's a lot of strategy games with the Space Marines, but as far as action games, this is probably the best one. This is probably the highest bar. Now, there was a Namco Bandai tried to do publish a Space Marine game, and their game, for some odd reason, it came out like in 2017, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as this game. It didn't have the same personality. The graphics were just, not even, I would say they weren't even passable. I remember looking at the game, I'm like, wow. Now, I played this game on the 360 when it first came out, and I want to say I played a demo. And demos are not always finished games, and it was on the 360, and the game really didn't make a good impression on me back then. But playing it on the PC today, this game stands up with all the games that you're playing now graphically, with most of the games. I mean, it's not blowing away every other game that's out there, but it's still a decent looking game, and you're going to enjoy it. There's a lot, like I said, if you like action games, there's a lot here to like. Just a fun game. It's not, there's not a lot of different things that you're doing, but what's here is really simple, straightforward, and it's done well. So definitely check it out. I would say it now. You can't play this on your Xbox One, so if you're somebody who's looking for a backwards compatible game, I'm playing this on Windows 10. You can't play it on. It's not on PlayStation 4, and it's not going to be on the new consoles, obviously. So that's kind of a bummer, because I think this would be a good game. Hopefully, Microsoft is going to resurrect the backwards compatibility program. They said they would. Hopefully, once the new console is out, they'll start getting more of these games on there. And they said the backwards compatibility system is handled in-house by Microsoft. It's not handled, by other companies. And Sega is putting a lot of their games on the Xbox. They seem to be really big with that into Xbox. So there's that new Yakuza game coming out. That looks like an interesting game. It looks pretty crazy. This game is pretty crazy. A lot of over-the-top action scenes. It's kind of like a Warhammer 40,000 Michael Bay film. So, I mean, if you're into that, then definitely you're going to love this game. I definitely got to recommend it. You're gonna enjoy it. This is not a game for your kids, obviously. It's a mature action game. Only thing is, like, for a game that, like I said, for a game that came out in 2011, $30 is a little bit of money for a game that old, but it's worth it. And like I said, the games that came after that were trying to get into that same market really didn't do a good enough job to unseat this game. And that's why I think people still probably go back to this game, and that's why I think Sega still sells it for that. And of course, Japanese developers or publishers don't give discounts like American publishers, which is kind of interesting. They just don't like to do it. They like to rake in the cash. But I mean, there's still a lot of really cool Japanese games. And Sega is one of the OG Japanese publishers out there, so obviously. But let's hope this game gets backwards compatibility for the One and the Series X. And with all that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video and some of the footage of this game, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines. I certainly enjoyed playing it, and this is definitely one of the games in my backlog I'm really going to get into. And that's pretty much it for this episode of Game Time. This is your host Tom signing off from 734 Games, where gaming is alive.